Good morning. Good morning. How are you all? This is Wanda Thomas. This is Road to Success, speaking on empowerment. Now, I left off with talking about you all. If you want results in your life, you must transform your mind. You must clean yourself out and begin all over, start all over. And when I say clean yourself out, all those things that you are used to hearing and programs you're used to watching, all those different things, you're letting in that negativity. Me personally, let me just share this information. I'm not into reality shows because to me, and this is my opinion, this is how I'm being led, but I'm just sharing with you all what I don't do because it's negative. A lot of it is negativity, even when it's dealing with the children, like the dance moms and all of that, and how this woman is, talk to these parents and the parents act crazy and the instructor act crazy and the kids are nasty. It's nothing positive about that. And just because it's gearing towards, kids, everything that glitter is not gold. I'm just here to tell you, yes, we want to inspire our kids, but that's not a way to inspire our kids that people act like that. That is ugly. No, we should all be talking and dealing with it with each other with respect. I don't care what background you come from. I don't care what kind of monies you have. I don't care what kind of degrees you have. We are all God's children and we should be representing God with love at all times. And I don't care what position we're in. So I just want to just clarify that. Doesn't matter what reality show and who we represent in. If you're going to represent kids, because you're starting our kids off anyway with the wrong mindset, because you're letting them know, do whatever you got to take to make it, and it doesn't matter what people may say or do. That's horrible, people. I'm here to tell you that's a wrong mindset to get your kids set in this world. Because as they get older, if this is the kind of stuff that they gearing towards and taking in, as they get older, they're going to be that same instructor, that dance mom instructor, and talking to people any kind of way, and just foolishness. I call it foolishness. Folks is cussing folks out, and we in America, we just publicize this stuff. It's never nothing positive. Anything that's positive, it'll never make it through the first week. It must, in America, if it ain't drama city and negative, it's a shame that we only gear towards negativity. That's a shame. I can only take in things that I can grow on and I can share with someone else to inspire their lives or encourage their lives with positivity and cleaning out the old man, all of that old stuff, and building it up with good stuff, with respect, with admiration, with inspiration, with security mechanisms and like mind spirits and patience and kindness. I'm sorry. I just have a love of Christ in me, and I don't know no other way because I lived that kind of way. Even when I was in the world, I still had decent common sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was in the world, I still knew how to talk to people and still had a bunch of friends. And people used to love being around me because I just had a great personality, where a social ability, where I was able to talk to anyone, even if they couldn't speak English. It was my demeanor that brought people towards me, because folks can tell from your demeanor and they can feel that energy. So what am I saying? What I'm saying, guys, is I personally, I'm never going to tell anyone what they should do and not do. I'm just sharing with you what I don't do because of what it represents. I don't represent anything that's negative. And that's just the fact of the matter. Everything that glitter is not gold. And I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care what it is. I don't bow down to man. I give man respect. And when I say man, I'm talking about men, women, whatever. I don't walk around praising no human being. I only praise Jesus Christ. I only praise God. I don't bow to anyone. I'm not obsessed over nothing. No car, no house, someone millions, that stuff. For me, it's just not important. I have a peace of mind. I know who I am. I know the people who really love me. I know the people who care for me. I know the people who genuinely love being around me because of who I am and what I represent. People want that kind of energy. I don't have to put nobody down to make them feel better about themselves. I'm going to boost you even if you're not even worthy to be boosted. You know why? Because we are wonderfully and perfectly made. God created us from the beginning of the earth. He said we are wonderfully and perfectly made. So I'm going to inspire that person who is not even lovable because they don't realize who they are. You are kings. You are queens. And I'm talking about all men of walks of life. Oh God, our children, if we just put that right stuff in their minds, and oh God, I watch our kids, they're getting naked every day. Who created that outfit? Literally these panty shorts. It's like they're out in the street in their underwear. Whatever happened to, that's the kind of look you have when you go to the beach. The beach is appropriate for bathing suits. If you want to wear the thongs or whatever, that's fine. That's for the beach. If you gonna wear the bellies out and the bras and your baby, that's appropriate. But it's not appropriate for you to be walking around in a city like that. You are standing out like a sore thumb. You're not looking appropriate for the environment, and you're standing out and you're having people judge you and point at you. And then as a female, you want to get mad when that old man or that young boy is trying to rap to you or touch you or fill you up because because you are telling them it's okay, how you look. You out in front of hundreds of people in panties. Everybody else got on long pants or shorts or decent shorts and shirt, and you got on something that looked like panties. That's the only way I can describe it. Whoever created that should have left that in their imagination. It's horrible how our young women are just losing the just the respect and losing who they really are. And it's just sad because we are just raising our kids up, our teenagers up, and to just be just abused and distraught woman. Because if we're accepting how they dress now and just doing anything any kind of way because a celebrity or somebody with a name put some kind of outfit out there, and we just such followers and running after that kind of mindset, we're in trouble. Because let me tell you, if I had a daughter, she would be hiding in a secluded place or living somewhere where I wouldn't know to be able to come around me dressed like that. But when you raise your child up the way they should go, they'll never part. They will know how to conduct themselves when they're around certain people. And when they get around their own people and their friends, they do as they do or want to do. And that's fine. Just as long as you're around me as my child, and long as you know how to conduct yourself, it ain't nothing I can do about that. Because me personally, if I had a child, I would have already put my child in the hands of God anyway. So once you believe that you giving your child over to God, then you have to believe your child going to be okay. Are they going to have some rough times and go through some turmoil? Absolutely. But if you have the faith of a mustard seed, believe they're going to make it through. It may be 1 year, maybe 20 years. But the point is, eventually, one day, they're going to get it. And when that day comes, they're going to say, Mom, Dad, thank you. It took a minute. It took a while. But you know what? I arrived in the word, and I got an awesome husband. I got beautiful children. I got an awesome career. This is what they're going to say to you because of the love that you've given them. You know, so that's where I am. That's where I am on raising our children and our young men. If they had the right man role model around them, they would be so awesome. But instead, their role models are a bigger version of them walking around with their clothes hanging to their knees, and these 30, 40, 50-year-old men still acting like they're 16 and 20. That's a shame, because our young men don't have a mentor. And our young men, they need a male role model. All of these women are raising these guys, and nothing wrong with it, but it will be even beautiful if these young men can also have a physical, a strong male model, male mentor in their lives to show them how to choose women, and to show them how to treat women, and to show them what they must do to be a man. Oh my God, that is so awesome. God is awesome. But I just wanted to, I just get so caught up, people, in, oh wow, just giving just life skills, etiquettes on our youth and on our people. Not even just our youth, just our adults, our women. Come on, you 50 years old, you still dressing like you 20? Come on, get over it. That time passed. Men, you 50, 60, and you still dressing and trying to act like you 16. The time have passed. Put away your toys. Grow up, people. Oh my God. I'll pray for you guys. I really would, because come on, moms, dads, you old. Lead this to the kids. You walking around, your belly hanging out, wrinkled and everything. Get that back to them little 16-year-old kids that, you know, that got the body for that. They at that age group, they can wear that stuff. That's for them. I'm 47 years old. Unless I'm at a beach, and I'll probably have on a full bathing suit to begin with. But unless I'm at a beach, you ain't going to see nothing hanging. I'm not going to walk around in my city, in my town, and my belly hanging out. Yeah, in a belly ring on my navel. Oh my God, it sounds funny just me talking about it. It's funny. It's sad, guys. But I wanted to hit on that. Life skills, etiquette. That's what I'm about, guys. I'm about empowerment. I got to keep it real. This is Wanda Thomas, and this is Road to Success. And I speak on empowerment, and I just got to keep it real. And my whole purpose is to help you guys get this, how to change your mindset, how to get things to be more effective in your life. Jobs, I teach you on etiquettes, life skills, social skills, job tips, because, transitions in your life. You may have a job, but you hate your job and you go every day. You're miserable. Who said you have to stay there? But God gives us common sense and wisdom. So we need to position ourselves if you're going to transition. But to even be able to transition, you got to change your mindset. You got to find that happy place in your life, or you're going to go to a job and eventually they're going to fire you, because when you are miserable and sad and bitter and mad, it comes out in your work. You cussing everybody out. And after a while, so many write-ups, they ain't even going to write you up no more. They're just going to say, Miss So-and-so, you are fired, because we've been doing this for years. We've been telling you about your personality for years. Enough. The union can't do nothing with it. Times are changing. People not playing with you anymore. Our rules, our laws are changing drastically. So if you guys want your job, you better start getting with the program, because eventually they're going to have a skeleton crew anyway doing everything we have to do. That's why it's so important that we got to get into our imagination and find those things in our hearts and our minds that we always wanted to do for ourselves. I'm just being used and constantly just growing and being elevated each and every day. I'm not getting caught up in the world anymore with people telling me what I can and what I cannot do. We can do whatever we put our minds to. I'm saying within reason and within respect and moderation and positivity, not just junk and mess and negativity because it makes a buck. Anytime you got to hurt somebody, lie, steal, and destroy people to get what you want, that's not of God, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything that is good and pure and that can help folks and just inspire folks. That's the kind of love, that's the kind of imagination and ambition I'm talking about, sharing with the world and so on and so forth. But bowing down to folks and praising them and all that, I feel sorry for you guys who do all of that. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Last week, I left off with you guys leaving you with a little test by writing down your pros and cons, because I want you guys to get this. This is about, how do I transition? How do I find that awesome job, my dream job? What do I do? So I left off with you guys writing down your pros and cons. And I told you I'm going to come back this week and I'm going to tell you now what I want you to do with those pros and cons. Now, you should, you on one side, you can have about 50 pros, and on the left side with your cons, you can have about 3 of them, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Only you know what you like about yourself and what you don't like about yourself, because that's what pros and cons are, what your likes and your don't likes. So only you know, and you got to be honest and tell the truth. Now, the reason why I wanted you all to do that is so now I can come back and say, okay, you wrote down the things that you like about yourself or the things you don't like about yourself. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples or whatever. For instance, where are you in life? Where you can say, where am I in life? What do I expect out of life? What kind of position or career that I'm doing? Think about, your life from, the past, the future, the present and the future. Draw a timeline to represent important events in your life. What do I mean about that? For instance, where am I in my life? I remember when I did this test, did my pros and cons, and I really reflected on where I am and so on and so forth. What do I want? Where am I? I'm seeking a career, career opportunity. I want to finish school. These are the things that I wrote. Where am I right now today? What I mean with that question is, what is it that I want to do? What is it that where I see myself? I want to finish school. I'm seeking a career opportunity that I enjoy, not just anything. I want a salary, a certain amount of a certain amount in my salary, not just anything just to say, I got a salary. I want to be working a job that is the desire of my heart, and not just anything because it's a job. Any job is wonderful when you don't have a job. But when you do get set in a place like that, you still want to now plan and say, thank God, I thank you for this job. But God will give you the desires of your heart if you ask, because he said you have not because you ask not. People think they don't supposed to ask God things. God love when you ask, because God didn't know that you're lined up according to his word, So my pros and my cons, and what I was asking myself the questions is, I want a car, I want an apartment. That's where I was at that time, when I wrote these things. I wanted the car, I wanted the apartment, I wanted a salary. I wasn't specific, because if you ain't working, anything is good. Working at McDonald's or White Castle, anything is good when you're not working, I want my own business. I want to be a Bible study teacher, and I wasn't really specific because I was young in my thinking at that time. But as every day go by and I'm elevated in the word and elevated in my life and in my wisdom and the mature woman that I am, I'm just giving you guys an example of where I was years ago when I wrote these things, so that's the kind of example that I'm saying to you. Where are you in your life? So you write down, this is where you are, and this is where you are, and this is what you want. This is where you would like to see yourself. Phase 2, what am I? I wrote down what am I? I wrote down I'm diligent, I'm smart, I'm a fast learner, I'm assertive, I'm aggressive, I got a can-do attitude, I'm sympathetic, I'm passionate. That's who am I? I wrote, that was the question, who am I? So I wrote those things down. Now, you may not write you're diligent. You may not write you're assertive. You may just say, I'm quick. You might just say, I like to learn. You might say, I'm a researcher. It all up to you. But those questions are important because when you write it down on paper, you can see yourself clearer. So that's why it's so important to write things down. And that's why I wanted to give you guys this little test, because what you're doing is working on your emotions. You're working on your psyche. You're working on your psyche. And only you know what's going on in your head. Even a psychology or psychiatrist or doctor don't know what's going on a doctor don't know what's going on in your body if he don't do an exam. If he only going to go by what you're telling him, what does he do? He still run tests, and whatever you told him, he end up getting more information from running the test. So it's even like a psychiatrist that examines the mind, examines the head. He'll listen to you, but he can only can't help you if you are telling him the truth. If you're not telling him the truth, he can't help you. What am I saying? I'm saying this to say, people, this is for you. You got to be truthful with you. Or do you feel as though you got a stinky attitude? You feel as though you can change some things about your life? Or you on drugs and you need to leave them alone? You're an alcoholic. You need to get up from that bar or stop going to the liquor store. Because these can be things that can be hindering you from moving forward anyway. And make it indefinitely making you bitter. That's a fact. Because you're diluting your mind, because our bodies are our temple. And when you put mess in it, when you put impure stuff in your body, your mind, it's going to depress you anyway. You're going to have the blues all the time. I've been there. I didn't understand why, I partied like the next person. I drank, I did drugs and whole nine, but I still worked every day, always had great jobs and the whole thing and stuff. Why I'm sharing this? Because my testimony is going to help you all. I don't want to just get on this mic week after week and just make it seem like that Wanda Thomas never had no issues. Wanda had issues when I didn't even realize I had issues. And two, I started reflecting and started writing these things out and going, listening to people and just, I'm very receptive to positive things. I've always have been, coming from the ghetto of Newark and stuff like that. In times was a little different anyway. I was always receptive and respectful. That was just my character anyway. So, and as I got older, I don't care what I got into or whatever the case may be, I still was always receptive to someone who was inspiring, or someone who was always talking about education or talking about life and talking about the Bible and and just educating you. Someone will always turn me on that was educating me about life, about science, about things I didn't know. I was just always turned on with those kind of conversations always. I never was turned on with foolishness, rims on a car, how much money you got in the bank and clothes and this and that. I never was turned on by that stuff. I never had, because I always had my own anyways. I've always worked. My mother instilled values in me. So I was always at work. I've always had my own. I've always had great jobs. I've always had cars. Yeah, they may not been Corvettes and BMWs and all that, but please, I was young. I still had what I wanted when I wanted it. You know what I mean? It was good for me from the time what I was in at that time, and the place where I was, that it was fine. You know what I mean? So what am I saying? Guys, you only you know the truth about yourself. So let me move on to phase 3, step 3. Where would you like to be, and what would you like to happen at, at your job, if you have one, or a job that you enjoy? Where would you like to be, and what would you like to happen? If you have a job, do you want to change the mindset of the job? Do you want to be happier at the job? How do you do that? You know, if you got a stinky attitude and stuff like that, then you must change the way you think. Or you want to grow, do you want your job to be more enjoyable, or do you just want to leave the job you at? It's nothing wrong with that, but you can be able to transition into a new job, into a new position with enjoying where you are. You can always have a comeback. It's like an artist that been off the scene for 20 years and they had a comeback, or let me just say 10 years or whatever. And they came back with something and knocked everything out the box. It's like with you. You can be at your job for many years and had such bad time because of you. Not because of anybody else, but because of you. You have to change the way you think. But you can have a comeback. You can start imagining and focusing on what you can do for yourself and what you can do. Sometimes we can just take our mind off ourselves and think and focus on what we can do for somebody else in our family. What can I do to help somebody? What is it that you need? Do you got your car? Do you want a car? Or do you need license? All of these things reflection is everything. For me, at that time, I wanted to get my license. Like I told you guys, this is a long time ago, before I even knew who I was or whatever the case may be. These are what I'm sharing with you are the things that I wanted back then. I surpassed these things now, but at the time I wanted an apartment, I wanted the car, I wanted my license, and now I'm at that place where I'm elevating. I want to be able to touch people's lives. Now what I want to touch people's lives. I want to be effective. I want my programs to be meaningful. I don't want to just be on this mic and no one is being moved by it. What am I doing? This ain't about me. I really want to help my fellow brother, my fellow sister. I really want to be able to touch the lives of our teenagers. We are losing our kids, people. We got to have more compassion, and we have to have love for one another. What you do in your household and do in your community, don't you know it affects your house? It affects your children. If you listen to my earlier programs, you can go to my website, www.roadtosuccess1.com. is www.roadtosuccess1.com. Go to my website, go to live workshops, and click on the ones. I have a lot of programs uploaded, but hit the social skills. Hit those opposed to the road to success. And if you listen to my shows, I talk on how how we mess up the lives of our community, how we mess up our children's lives by how we conduct ourselves. Listen to the programs because they're in sequence. If you really want to hear who I am and what I'm doing, it's in sequence. Listen to them. It's going to help you. That's only if you want to be helped, if you want change in your life. That's what I'm about. That's all I'm about. Is I love our children. I love people, and I just want to be effective in their lives because we're losing our kids. They just in all kind of drama because what do they got to look forward to? The mama want to be the kid and be their friend. They don't need a friend, mama. They need a mother. Dad want to, instead of being the mentor and the father to their son, the son is watching you still running around like you 16 years old. Come on, our boys need a father, a role model. So guys, I tell you, I love this. I have to get ready to go. And I'm going to pick back up with you guys. I left off on step 3. Where would you like to be? Where do you see yourself? And I'm going to pick back up with you with step 4. And the question to that is, for step 4 is to an ideal year in the future. What is your ideal year in the future? Identify resources that's needed. So I'm going to pick up with you with step 4 because I want you guys to get it. I want this to be effective in your life. I don't want to just be rambling on this program and no one grows from it. Okay, but I'm getting ready to sign off, guys. I love you. God loved you before the beginning of the foundation, and so do I. And I just want to leave you with this quick scripture that says, 2 Corinthians 25:17 says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are become new. I want to bless everyone. Have a blessed and wonderful week. And I pray that all of your prayers be answered in Jesus' name. Amen.